Was there any input from the Minister of Labour in all of this?
Yes. All they talked about was creation of job and creating a synergy between the Minister of Interior and the Minister of Labour. And that was why even in our complaint, we didn't wrote a letter to the Minister for Labour on this same usurpation of the jobs for Nigerians. And I am quite happy, I'm very happy that the Minister also responded because he was at the conference. And then also, the final one was a call to Nigerians because these experts could have achieved what they are doing without using Nigerians. A call to Nigerians. I don't want to mention name here. I would have. Because
of the Nigerians?
Of some Nigerians. In MTN recently, the former chief technical officer, who refused to be used to give jobs that were meant for Nigerians to foreigners was quietly eased out, and then they brought a stooge who could do their bidding. And now, gradually, they are telling the Nigerian contractors, go and work under these foreigners.
So regulation and supervision is key here.
Mm-hmm. Very, very key. Very key. Because no matter how fantastic the law is, like one of the senators said, no matter how fantastic this law is, no matter how laudable the program is, without regulation and evaluation, implementation, you won't achieve nothing.
If we to get what you're saying, because we've actually done our own research and we understand that over 10 years down the line, we now have Nigerians who build masts and build base stations. Are you saying that these telecoms companies, irrespective of the ownerships, don't even give jobs to Nigerian contractors?
Before now, they were given. As at when Alan Dick hurriedly packed out of Nigeria, this MTN relied solely on these local contractors. You know,
so the local contractors
came to their rescue, and so they registered some, because until then they were not working. And then when Glo came, remember when MTN first came, they told us that per second billing will not be feasible until 8 years. But the moment Globacom rolled out, they rolled out immediately with per second billing, and it became feasible for all of the other companies.
How does that apply to this?
And when Globacom came, Globacom started using local contractors, because they discovered that some of these jobs that were given to Akate and Co., that it was the local contractors that were the actual contractors that were doing the jobs. And so they decided to save cost, also engage these people directly, because mind you also, these are it's an indigenous company, a way of encouraging, indigenous technology. But now what is happening now is that some of these foreign companies like the ZTEs, the Huawei's, the Nokia Siemens, and all of that, gradually they came in as equipment vendors, and now what is happening? They are taking over. They are competing with the local contractors in the in-service countries in the area of erecting masts and shelters and all of that. Okay. And what the implication of that is that some of these contractors would be eased off gradually, and then their companies will fold up, and people who are the few ones that they've managed to employ will be forced back into the labor market, and we know the insecurity this is creating in the land.
As much as, they may try to do the right things, getting the expatriates to do what is right according to our laws, but of course, government also has to be mindful of the fact that we need to improve capacity of the quality of the ones we've got in the first place. Employers today complain of not even getting the right quality.
That's a big problem, because when you know that the job, let me give you an example with erection of masts. You award the job to a foreigner at 20 million naira, and then the foreigner will in turn award it to a Nigerian at 4 million naira. And this Nigeria will barely manage, because he wants to keep afloat. What he will do, he will give you a job of 4 million naira. Meanwhile, the operator earmarked 20 million naira for that job. Sometimes in connivance with these people, because these funds is repatriated back, And so he turns around to tell you that we're not getting quality jobs from Nigerians. If you investigate further, you discover that these jobs were not directly given to Nigerians. If you give this job directly to the people that ought to do that, go to Ghana. You can't do that in Ghana.
But this is a two-edged sword, because you've got some Nigerians who are chairmen of some of these companies. That's
why I gave you instances with you have chairman. There difference between a chairman and a chairman. Somebody can bring you in because the law requires you to have a Nigerian on the board. You just appoint a Nigerian and say, okay, Liborous, come and be the chairman.
Just for the sake of it.
Just for the sake of being a chairman. So at the end of the day, provided you get something at the end of the month, you know, you're not concerned whether Nigerians are kicked out of job or not.
So that comes back to us.
So there was an observation made by one elderly, I've forgotten his name now. He said, look, in the 60s and the 70s, there were Nigerians who were chairmen of multinationals. Instead of us to progress, we are retrogressing. These same multinationals that we had Nigerians as chairmen those days, now you all have them. You all have white men as foreigners. Sorry, as chairmen of these multinationals. Why? And also, you remember in the 70s and in the 60s, we were exports to some neighboring countries. You know, but now in Ghana, if you go to Ghana, you cannot do the jobs that you cannot carry. We had a contract to perform a joint venture agreement with a company in Ghana, and they said we needed to clear with their local content office. And then they got back to us to say, well, we have companies that can do this job that you're coming to do. So we really don't see the need for an expert in this field, you know, because you're coming to take over the job that is meant for our locals. So gradually, when you allow that, over time, you gradually ease out, you know, local companies, and then you're talking about capacity building.
That's a process which you talked about us also correcting.
Yes.
And so
if we don't correct it, we are crying that there are no jobs. The little ones that we have are gradually being phased out. Let me give you an instance also with, you know what happened in Alaja Steel Company? The government concessioned the company to some Indians to invest, who promised to invest $500 million. But at the end of the day, what happened? The company, as I speak to you now, was vandalized, cannibalized by these same people, and then the money was borrowed from local banks. Not a dime was brought from their country to invest in this company. And gradually now, after some time, they would declare redundancy.
You know, the way it
and
is
go back
now,
home.